Hey everyone, welcome back to my latest rally video. Today we have an insane zero from my guild, FU. So FU is actually a 200-person guild, split into two guilds. You're allowed to go to either guild whenever you want, pretty much. So again, we don't have Guild Fest or anything like that, so it doesn't really matter. And for Dragon Arena, we all go into one guild for Dragon Arena, and everyone who can't show up doesn't get to be in the guild at that time. So anyway, so let's start off with this crazy zero we do on the 3.3 billion might player. I was told he is not a Titan, so I will not be calling him a Titan in this video. You can call him a Titan if you want, but I won't be doing that because everyone was getting very upset in my post because I called him a Titan. So anyways, he's not a Titan. He's just a regular 3.3 billion might player who is already down to almost 3 billion might after the first couple rallies. We did a tester rally, figured out he was in Cav, so actually Cav Wedge I think was what we figured out. So we started going range into obviously his Cav right now. He's in Cav gear, so he's actually losing quite a bit of troops in these first couple of rallies, just because I know he has already 2 billion troops still, but not 2 billion troops, 2 billion troop might, but he still is getting hit very hard. He's losing 5 million troops per counter here. Some of that is just because he's in Cav, and Cav doesn't really take rallies very well. Other reason is we have some pretty strong rally leads that are knocking him down. So he's already down 200 million might. I think it's been 3 rallies. Yeah, I think Char hit him at the first point up there, and then Char hit him again there. So yeah, so he dropped down 5 million pretty much per rally here. He is in Cav gear in Cav Wedge, so I guess his first couple rallies won't be too bad as if he was in like monster hunting gear or something like that, because he does obviously have Cav stats because he's in his Cav gear, but obviously full counters it doesn't really matter that much. If he was in mixed gear, he'd be doing much better than he is, but unfortunately he's in Cav gear and we're going range, so his Cav gear isn't doing a crazy amount for him. So let's see what he's dropped down to now. He's under 3 billion might already. He's down to 2.9 billion. He is dropping fast. So if his guildmates don't get him on very soon, he's going to be pretty much zeroed very quickly. Because nowadays, these rallies, they just hit so hard. So it looks like Freddy's going to be going in next. We'll see what he drops down to then. He is in Cav Wedge, not Cav Foul, so he will be, once we get down to a certain amount of troops, he'll start dropping a little bit slower because we'll be hitting his infantry infantry and his cav instead of just his cav. So, but right now he's still dropping pretty quickly, down to 2.7. This guy has a ton of troops. I mean, he's 3.3 billion might. He has a ton of troops. It's kind of obvious, but yeah, he's down to 2.669. So yeah, so it looks like, let's see, Drop Your Pants is gonna be coming in next. He's down to 2.668. I think someone soloed him or tested him again just to double check which Phalanx he was in to make sure we got the right thing. Again, Wedge is a little tricky because sometimes your range attacks will start doing less damage because you start hitting their infantry and you're like, oh, are we in the right thing? This was one of those situations. He didn't drop crazy amount there, only dropped about 40 mils, so we're thinking maybe we should go something else, and that's why Char, you can see in the top there, is actually canceling his rally because that rally didn't hit as hard as we thought, so we're going to actually change up what we were going to actually send there. So it looks like Sir Lancelot is going in next. Yeah, and this guy only has 9 castle stars, so doesn't have the craziest base stats like a 150 castle star guy would, who is what you would call a Titan. Again, he does not have a real 11k hero as leader either. He has a silver 11k hero. He obviously was not expecting anyone to rally him, because when you're 3.3 billion might and you have over 2 billion might in just troops, you usually feel pretty safe, but unfortunately nowadays you're not safe at all, because it doesn't matter what might you are, if you don't get online, you're gonna get zeroed. All these family guilds will easily zero you. It's not too hard nowadays, just with the stat changes. If you're in war gear, you can feel a little more safe, but you're still gonna eventually get zeroed. Unfortunately, this guy was only in cav gear, not his mixed gear. So it looks like Freya's gonna be coming in next. We are switching over to, I think, Jason's part of the recording. The first part was actually from Brian. He was actually online at the start. I think Char tagged me in line at that point, and I was just like, to get me on to record, but obviously I was out and unable to do so, so I tagged Jason to record, and he started recording at this time. So again, thankfully Brian was recording the whole time, or he would have missed the whole first part, but it looks like what's called both of them end up recording, so I'm going to use both recordings here. So it looks like Jason was able to hit, and a good thing is Jason is one of our rally leads, so you can see from his point of view when he sets the rally, so pretty awesome there. So Freya went in there. We'll see, looks like Freya did a little bit of damage. It wasn't a lot, so it looks like we're starting to get into his infantry, it looks like, at this point, because Freya's rally only did about 3 million. It was a range rally, so since he's in Cav Wedge, the next what's called troop you'll be hitting will be the infantry after the cav. So it looks like we've taken out most of his cav, at least, if not all his cav. So it looks like just infantry now. So we will be sitting a cav rally now to basically counter that infantry. So that's kind of how you can tell if you're rallying someone and you're like wondering when do we switch troop types and stuff like that. It's obviously when it starts going down like that, and you can tell if it's wedge or not, because if we went range into Cav Phalanx and they lost their Cav, we'd be hitting their range, so technically you would see a smaller drop, so not such a big, you see a bigger drop in might than what we saw. So once we see that, we kind of know they're Cav Wedge, so we're going Cav next. So let's see what they did next. It looks like C4G, who was not in our family guild, also found the target, so they're joining in now. It's totally fine at this point. We got most of the big hits off on their Cav front line, so them coming in and actually doing this might actually help us zero it before he actually gets online, which is good, because I think he's going to have a couple of our leaders, so it's good that actually this other guild kind of came in. He did eventually get online in shield, so if we took too long to zero him, he might have got online and started healing in time and actually kept some of our leaders, so that's kind of what we have to watch out for. So Char is coming in right now. He's down to 2.5 billion might. He's at 878 million kills. He actually gets less kills than you would think for how many troops he has, just because, again, he wasn't in his actual war gear. So I'll take a look. Let's see. Char, 6.5 million. Huge drop on that one. Looks like Jason is the next rally lead, so he's going to be setting it right now, going Cav. But yeah, Char is actually a really good rally lead. 140 castle stars, really good gear. Hits super hard. So you see that in most of his hits. His hits are pretty legit. So he's not a max castle star guy, but he is obviously really up there, and that account is really well set up. So Jason does have to change some of his jewels around. I guess some of his pieces are set up for mix, so he actually has to set his Cav stuff up for blast. So that's one of the problems with being a rally lead in a wonder lead, because sometimes you are set up for wonders, you actually gotta use a bunch of gems just to rejewel your gear so you can set up for blast, because wouldn't be doing as much damage if he didn't have his like gargantuan jewels and stuff in his war gear, as yeah, obviously, because that's less damage and less defense in your actual stats. So it looks like another person's going in. Looks like DC is going in for a rally right now. Doesn't look like Jason has the name up there. What was going on there? So anyways, it looks like Levy's going in. I'm not sure if DC is one of our allies or another guild that just showed up, but they were going in. They went Cav as well. They got a couple big hits as well. 178 million might drop, 4.7 million troops. So it looks like we're getting to some of their tier 4, it looks like, because that's quite a big drop for only 4.7 million. It looks like someone else is going in at this one. I think this is FU that's going in next. Or I'm missing their names on top of their march there, so we'll take a look there. Jason is obviously getting ready to rally, so he's a little more focused on the rally than he is actually on the recording, but he's doing a really good job of doing both, because I know it's hard to record and actually play the game at the same time, because you're trying to get good shots, plus you got to remember actually to play, and especially if you're rally leading, because you're focused on actually making sure all the right all the right troops are joining your rally timing, getting your talents on, all that stuff, gear switches, all that stuff. So he's getting ready for his rally to go pretty soon here. He's going to throw in his Cav here. It's coming in right now, so we'll see how much Jason does, see if they've took out all the infantry yet, or will it be actually some what's called infantry left, because that's always the problem. You never know when they start switching over from infantry to just pure range, and a Cav blast into pure range is probably not going to do a lot. Obviously, we did not get a walk back. We did quite a bit of damage, though, there. Huge drop, 231 million might drop with 6.1 million troops, so I would assume a lot of that was tier 4, maybe some tier 5 in there. We do actually get a walk back eventually. You get to see what he has left, and he had a ton of tier 4. I mean, obviously he was 3.3 billion might, so he has a lot of troops, but he had a ton of tier 4, and he actually had a ton of tier 4 left by the time we got our first walk back, and you get to see that, because once he's basically pure range at that point, an infantry blast will get a walk back no matter how many troops you have, pretty much, because just with the counter research. So that's what it is. The stats where he's at 891. Cav looks a little lower than is just because he obviously has a bunch of what's it called, champion jewels in his blast gear instead of other jewels to actually give him more attack. So there's the first burn. He's pretty much, I think he still has like 800 million might in troops. It's mostly just tier 4 at this point. Here's the first burn from Comfy Donuts. You can see he has about, what was that, like 16 million tier 4 left and about 3 million tier 5 left still, and we walk back with like 900k troops, which is insane. But again, it's pure infantry into pure range. So, and the guy is not in mixed gear, he's in Cav blast stats, so his range stats are pretty much not there, or non-existent. So, and he's also not a Titan that has max castle stars, so his base stats are not going to be super insane. They're going to be good because he is a probably close to max research account, but obviously he's missing the castle stars, but give those extra stats. So you can see, yeah, Jason has some decent Cav gear with the Mythic Champ and full gold jewels with what's called champion jewels and all that stuff. So taking a look at some of these reports, yeah, they're huge hits, and obviously these next couple hits are gonna be even bigger. This guy doesn't have very good infantry gear. You can see, I mean, it's good infantry gear, but not really good infantry gear, because he doesn't have full mythic gear. He's missing the mythic plate and mythic boots. They're champion boots, they're not bad, but the guy is not an amazing rally lead by any chance. He still is able to get a walk back and burn the guy for, what is it, 161 million might, 4.3 million troops, so gave him about 2 million reds, probably just tier 4 to 2 at that point. So yeah, you can see that even with that gear, it's enough. He's still at 1.8 billion might. He still has over 500 million might in troops left, so he's not close to being zeroed yet. I mean, a couple rallies from now he will be zeroed, but in theory, he still has 500 million might in troops. Unfortunately, it is all range, so these infantry blasts will be doing quite a bit. So it looks like Thin Blue went in next. 270 million might drop. That must have been pure tier 4 on that one for sure. But that was massive, 270 million might. It looks like Little Cycle will be going in for the last hit, and that will be the zero, taking their leader away in chains. 213 million might drop. 6.1 million. Pretty much all theirs, because we only lost 128k troops on that rally. 6 million reds. Mostly range. There was a little bit of siege there. Took out the siege as well. Looks like 1.6 million tier 5 range and about 2 million tier 4 range at the end. Obviously, our last rally coming in here from FU here will not do any damage because it's already zeroed. You can see there's no EXP drop there, so there's no troops left. We kind of knew that right away. Obviously, if you looked at Global, it said they took their leader away and changed, so they don't have any troops left anyway, so just going in for the farming next. So, amazing job by our family guild here. Looks like DC came in. I'm not sure if they were a ally or what was going on there. I know for a fact K4G is not, so they got some extra kills, but obviously our guild got a ton of points for this, because this was KVK, by the way. Obviously, he got a bunch of points for that as well. He ended up second in KVK, so unfortunately we zeroed him too fast. If we zeroed him a little bit slower, he might have got first, but he was still quite a ways off the first in KVK, so I think it was another 3 billion might guy who probably got zeroed and was a little bit slower, or they were a little bit slower at zeroing him or something like that, because yeah, you can see he was 3.309, might have been a little bit higher, I'm not sure. That was the first basically report we got, down to 1.383, so almost 2 billion might down the drain. He will probably rebuild. He probably has enough money to do that, considering he was already 3 billion might. There was Char there. You can see a nice 140 castle stars there. Just going through some of these hits before. Freya there, 45 castle stars. Who else is on here? Looks like Sir Lunks-a-Lot, 57 castle stars. Who else is in here? Let's see. Looks like drop your pants. 25 castle stars, just missing that one offhand for full mythic there, but it's a mythic champ piece, so obviously we can let it slide. That was him, obviously. 9 castle stars. Gray myth, yeah, gray 11k hero. Interesting choice for your leader, but like I said, you're probably not expecting anyone to rally you at 3.3 billion might, so having a gray leader 11k hero guy kind of looks better, but not really in the end, because it doesn't really give you many stats. So here's Morrigan, 141 castle stars, one of our better rally leads as well. First Knight, probably one of our best as well, 150 castle stars. So, and yeah, so, and there's Levy Strawman. He was one of the guys who hit him really hard at the end. I think that was him or someone else that hit him. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you guys want to join our FU family, let me know. I don't have the recruitment post or anything like that, but I can actually give you like Freya's what's called line. I'm pretty sure she does all the recruiting. Just add me online and ask me if you guys want to join our guild. We are a 200 person guild, so basically it's 2 guilds, but it's basically just one guild, and you can go to any guild you want between the 2. You're allowed to go between them both because we act as one guild, so just going over to one guild or to go to the other, it's fine. Like I said, we do Dragon Arena in one of the guilds, so if you do the Dragon Arena and you're signed up, you go to that guild. If you can't make it, you go to the other guild. Pretty easy. We do not do Guild Fest, so it doesn't matter what guild you're in for that, because no one cares about Guild Fest in a big guild like this. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.